I feel like every day that I wake up and I scroll on social media, I silently wonder to myself, like, how did we get here as a society? Like, at what point did we go wrong? And at what point did everybody start to get offended by everything? I'm guessing 2016. Let me know down in the comment section when you think the world completely shifted and people were just like, oh, that's offensive, don't look at me. The reason that I'm saying this is because I came across this TikTok from Hyram last night as I was laying in bed. If you're not familiar with Hyram, he is a skincare guru, I guess. He has a skincare line that used to be in Sephora, now I believe it's in Target. But he uploaded a TikTok and he wanted to let everyone know that he has come across this new dog whistle that's going on over on TikTok, and he needed to alert everyone that if they see this going on, those accounts just need to be blocked. They need to not pay attention to them, report them, get rid of them at all costs. See, this is one of those moments that I'm glad that I'm not one of those people that subscribe to the bullshit that every day when we wake up, there's going to be a new word that people can't say because they're getting offended. This is crazy to me. Like, this is actually like insane, because I think eventually we're not going to have a dictionary anymore to say anything. You're going to say yes and oh my god, someone's going to think you're wanting to end their life. Are you guys ready to know what the dog whistle is? Because when I saw this video and I saw him talking about it, I was like, this has to be like some form of satire. Like, he's making a joke right now. Like, he's literally making fun of everyone out there that gets offended of everything, right? He wasn't. And honestly, I don't think that this is going the way that he thought it was going to go, at least in my opinion, because every single comment underneath his TikTok and on social media on different platforms where I've seen this video clip now, people are just typing back what he thinks the dog whistle is. And the dog whistle, according to him, is well. So before I play this clip from Hyram, I did want to let you know that Gerard Cosmetics is having a buy one get one free sale on their entire website right now. So if you are someone that has been wanting to try out Hair AF, I mean, now would be the perfect time to try it out because you get 2 bottles for the price of 1. But if you're not interested in this, which Dustin swears by, Dustin can show you his hairline. It has literally helped him with that. And honestly, let me give you my real testimonial right now, because I take this every single day. Now, I'm not saying this for everyone. I'm just saying my own results right now. I bleach the hell out of my hair to be able to get those really bright colors when I do it. My hair is not brittle at all. My hair is not falling out. My hair is not breaking. And I leave the bleach on for a good long while because I do it by myself at home. So I'm not a professional. But what I'm trying to say is my hair is not brittle like Jackie Ina's nails from my video yesterday. And if you honestly don't want to try the Hair AF, there are so many other amazing items that you could try out. I know people rave about the clean canvas. I know people rave about the setting powders. My personal favorite setting spray is the Dreamsicle one. I'm telling you, it's delicious. Like, it makes me hungry to think about it. Or if you are somebody that has been wanting to check out the Emily D. Baker collaboration that came out with Gerard Cosmetics, now would be the perfect time to do so. I am going to provide a link down below for you in the description as well as in the comment section. It is an affiliate link, so I do get a kickback. I'm not going to lie to you and pretend that it's like a 2 or 5% like Raw Beauty Christie. It's 20%. I get a good kickback from if you use this link. If you don't want to use the link, girl, just go to gerardcosmetics.com and have a field day. Okay, now let's roll the clip.
Okay, so I need to talk about something that I've been seeing here on TikTok that is really disturbing, and it seems like nobody is talking about it, but I've only recently learned what it means, and I want to share with you guys so you can be on the lookout, because it's very dark and sinister. And that's the term well. I have been seeing this term being used across so many different videos for so long, to the point that I've been seeing hundreds, maybe even thousands of people commenting this term. And when I first saw it, I didn't really think anything of it. I figured I just didn't know exactly what they meant. It is a commonly used phrase, so I didn't really think much of it until I started to notice that any type of content I would see that primarily depicts a Black person in a negative light, or even has the proximity to depicting a Black person negatively, or say a gay person or trans person negatively, that when I would go to the comment section, this term well would be what I would see the entire time I'm scrolling, like hundreds and hundreds of comments of this term being used. And that's when I started to question, like, okay, what exactly does this mean? What are people referring to when they say this? Come to find out, it is a dog whistle. And if you don't know what a dog whistle is, it's essentially like a secret code that extremists who have, say, racially negative biases, people who are prejudiced, homophobic, transphobic, it's secret codes that they will use to communicate their biases to other people who think the same way, but use these kind of masked terms that the rest of us would not be able to understand. It's a very sinister way of communicating, say, racism, homophobia, or transphobia. And once I realized that, looking through content and comment sections, I have been absolutely floored at how frequently I've been seeing well being used. And it's really disturbing, because I know for me, it's definitely shined a light on how many people are more than willing to publicly share their racist ideologies or their prejudice ideologies and feel completely comfortable doing it on TikTok, to the point that entire comment sections will be filled with this term, well. And it's really been disturbing to me to see, and I don't think it's okay. And it's actually very scary to see how many people are, feel comfortable commenting this on posts. Even on posts, I saw one earlier today that really just shook me up, where it was videos of monkeys trying to steal a banana from a person who was visiting a zoo, and the entire comment section was people commenting, well. And as I dug into those comments, it was because people are being just disgustingly racist. It makes me so sick to my stomach. It's so horrifying. So I just want to let you guys know, so that if you do see this term, please report those accounts, or, just if you are a content creator, please delete those comments off of your posts. Just be careful out there. I'm not sure exactly what we can do to address it, because the problem with dog whistles is that they're masked under seemingly innocent terms that wouldn't necessarily be grounds for having someone's account be banned, which is the dark and twisted things about dog whistles in the first place, is that it seems like it's nothing when it actually is very prejudiced and absolutely disgusting. Anyway, I don't know if you guys have suggestions on how to deal with this problem, because I've just been seeing it anywhere. So if you do have any suggestions, please comment it down below. But I just wanted to share to make you guys aware, because of how frequently I am seeing this and how just disgusting it is. So
before I go any further though, I do want to say I am glad that Hyram did bring attention to this, because honestly, there are people out there that are using this in a negative way. So at least people know about that. But I am not going to stop using the phrase well just because somebody thinks that I'm using it in a certain way. It's not. The last time that I literally said that phrase, well, was when James Charles was getting called out for still sexting with people under the age of 18. So I guess that was a dog whistle, y'all. I honestly feel like every single day we wake up to find out something new that everybody was totally okay with once before is now something that offends someone. So we all have to cater and bow down and say, oh no, we're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to use that word. What words can we use? That would be easier. Can you give us the dictionary of words that we actually can use and words that are not going to be used in a problematic way in the future? I think that would be a lot easier for people out there than wondering if they're going to get canceled for saying a phrase, a common phrase, mind you, that everyone has been using for literally decades, hundreds of years, however you want to look at it. You know what this honestly makes me think of every time somebody brings up the term dog whistle? It makes me think back to the time that Here for the Tea and her little minions online tried to say that I was being anti-Semitic and using a dog whistle against her because I called her a puppet master. Somebody who literally pulled the strings for so many people to do things, called her a puppet master after she literally tweeted out that she was the puppet master and her friends were tweeting that back to her. All of a sudden, I was hating Jewish people. Oh my gosh, he's anti-Semitic. They literally tried to spearhead a campaign online to paint me as an anti-Semite because I called her a puppet master for pulling the strings. Something that she literally called her self. I guess you hated yourself then, bitch. And I already know there's gonna be like 1 or 2 people down in my comment section telling me not to speak ill of the dead. Let me make this very clear. I do not subscribe to that bullshit of don't speak ill to the dead. 1, they're not here to hear it. Thank you very much. They can watch it from the other side. Number 2, just because someone passes away does not delete all of the negative shit that they did when they were alive. And it does not take away people's interactions with that person, good, bad, or indifferent, okay? I mean, if you're planning to leave a comment like that, did you just miss the part where I said she tried to spearhead a campaign trying to say that I was an anti-Semite because I called her a puppet master? Reevaluate yourself, bitch, before you leave that down below. And while you're at it, I am not going to delete the video that I have of her that Rich Lux brought up in his video the other day, where I was defending him and debunking the bullshit that she was trying to do because she was a nasty woman, and I stand by that. I never understand when people come to my comment section and tell me, oh, don't speak ill of the dead when I bring her up. I don't sugarcoat shit on this channel. If I'm gonna talk about someone, I'm gonna talk about someone. I'm not giving you guys a pageant answer. If that bothers people, I get it. It's a little bit too abrasive, I guess. And I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Totally understand, and I'm fine with that. But I'm not gonna dumb myself down and water myself down to try to appease to a mass of people, okay? I would rather the people that are actually like into my content, into the way that I speak, into the things that I say, I would rather that be my audience, because girl, we can get shady down in these comments. Like, I'm typing back all day. I do want to say this, though, before I go on to the next topic. I think that there are some people out there that think that I'm actually angry at these people that I discuss. I've just always been very good about putting emotion behind my voice when I'm talking about something that I'm passionate about. There is nothing more, nothing less about it. Like, after this is done, I'm going to turn this camera off. I'm going to edit this video. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to smoke a bowl. If I was to sit here and talk about these topics with you guys and I was just like, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about here for the tea. Hyram said that this is the dog whistle. You would be bored. I would be bored. I would literally take a nap while recording it. So moving on from that, we have to talk about Jeffree Star once again, and we are going to throw Trisha Paytas into the mix with this because there was some drama that went down over on TikTok yesterday because of these clips that were teasers for the Dumb Blonde podcast, which is actually out now on all streaming platforms, I believe. There was a clip that was put up of Jeffree Star and Bunnie talking about Trisha Paytas, and Bunnie let Jeffree know, like, yeah, I was supposed to do Trisha's podcast. She was supposed to come on mine.
I came off tour to do her podcast with her. Well, to do her podcast and her come on my podcast. And she texted me an hour before she was supposed to show up that she wasn't coming.
Trisha she did me and Jay wrong and made up a whole drama. She did me really wrong.
Oh,
She made up all these lies, said I fat shamed her and called her all these things. Never happened.
right.
Never happened. And then she gets in a fight.
Looking for clout too?
Of course she was. That was her stick.
Right.
I literally just flew her to Vegas. We're front row at Mariah Carey. The internet starts turning on me and Shane during the pandemic. She flips and makes up a whole story. The vlog was filmed on her channel. Her being in love with all of us. We go to Vegas. We take her on a shopping spree. We do all these amazing things. She deletes the vlog, makes up lies about me and him. And the internet at the time, they ran with it.
Right.
She hurt me deeply. And she's never apologized.
Well, Trisha, if you're listening, I hope that maybe hearing his side of the story will make you want
It was
to...
hurtful. And she knows it was.
And if you know anything about Bunnie, she is a very, very busy person. Like, she is always doing something. So she said that she had to like move things around to try to get there to do it with Trisha. So the fact that Trisha texted her an hour before to cancel the podcast and say that she's not going to be able to do it, it is unprofessional. Let's call a spade a spade. It's very unprofessional, Trisha. I would be very pissed if I was Bunnie as well, because she literally changed around her whole entire schedule to come to LA. I think that she's actually like on tour with Jelly Roll as well. So she took time away from that to come to LA to do this with Trisha, and then Trisha stood her up. Now, if you know anything about Trisha, Trisha has a very bad habit of standing people up when they're supposed to do something together. That is something that has been talked about Trisha for years. And honestly, it's a horrible trait, if I'm being completely honest. So Trisha, Bunnie is not in the wrong when she said that you were unprofessional in that sense. Now, I think that Trisha might have acted off of emotion with this, because if you don't remember, Trisha has had drama with Jeffree Star when they went to Las Vegas. There was that whole ordeal with Hair by Jay where he literally called her out her name, made a whole like Instagram live where he was talking shit about her. In my opinion, confirming what she was saying Jeffree Star did on that trip. I'm gonna play that clip for you guys right here.
I've been suicide so many times, and because like, oh my god, like I felt so awkward, and you know they were fat shaming me, and he charged me double, and I couldn't pay, and they were making fun of my skin, and I thought we were friends. I thought we were cool, and I should have talked about it. And let me tell you something, you stupid, dumb, warts, you stupid warts, licking ass full of warts, bitch. You know what pisses me off? Talk about how much a person made her feel uncomfortable, was so negative to her, but afterwards, bitch, don't forget to say, but I got to fly to Vegas because that person paid for a jet. I slept in a motherfucking room because that person paid for my suite. I went to go see Mariah Carey first row because that person paid for my ticket. Why do people do that shit? Why do people like to talk shit about the negative about a person, but they forget to say all the good things? 99 good things, but one bad thing you didn't like because you a sensitive ass hoe, because you're so insecure.
But something that I find very interesting about this is the fact that Jeffree Star, once again, he does this every single year. He'll go on a podcast and he tries to rewrite history. Did he forget that Hair by Jay did that Instagram live confirming basically everything that Jeffree did? Did he forget that he tweeted out that he apologized to Trisha and she didn't respond to him? This is up there for me with James Charles and the victims. Why did he say sorry to the victims if there were no victims? And why did Jeffree Star apologize to Trisha if he didn't do what she was saying he did? You don't apologize just to apologize. You apologize if you mean it. And if you have to apologize, there's probably a good reason for it. So getting back to Trisha, I honestly feel like she just ran off of emotion with this because of the situation that she had with Jeffree Star, because she knows every time he goes on a podcast and her name comes up, she does receive a lot of hate, I'm sure, over on TikTok, because I have seen people over there making TikToks about Jeffree Star, saying things like, protect him at all costs, he's exposing James Charles. He's saying the exact same shit that he's been saying for years. Like, are you guys new? I honestly think that TikTok was a godsend for many of these influencers. Jeffree Star has been able to reinvent himself. James Charles was successfully able to reinvent himself. James Charles started a whole new TikTok to fool people about his damn makeup. So Trisha uploaded an over 8-minute TikTok where she was explaining why she didn't do this podcast, why it seems like she stood Bunnie up, blah, blah, blah.
And her come on my podcast, and she texted me an hour before she was supposed to show up that she wasn't coming.
Trisha she did me and Jay wrong and made up a whole drama. She did me really wrong. She made up all these lies, said I fat shamed her and called her all these.
So I have actually never been more visibly shaken than I am right now. My biggest fear when I canceled last minute on Bunnie was just her talking about it, because I know she has such a loyal fan base. I love Bunnie. She's super sweet. I think she's very unproblematic. And so I was just like so nervous, because I did ghost her within an hour of us supposed to record. I texted her to cancel because I was trying to squeeze it in and to do her podcast. I wanted to do her podcast more than anything. Like, I love Bunnie. I keep telling her, like, it's amazing, her story. Like, every time a new part of her story comes out, like, I'm in awe, and I think I looked up to her in so many ways. So, the last thing I wanted to do was cancel. I sent a text and was like, I don't know if this is going to work. I didn't check my phone the rest of the night. You guys are going to see on Thursday, I got this really amazing opportunity in Vegas, like this really amazing opportunity. And it was supposed to be for the next day. And then we got something that night, and we just were cutting it so close. It was like picking up the boots, had to go to this event, like check my mom and baby into the hotel. Like, and I told her, I was like, I feel so awful. And I had a guest cancel on me like a few weeks ago, and I told her that too. And I was like, I was so mad. I was so mad, like having to get up to Glam and pay. I paid for Glam. I was in Glam when the person canceled on me, and I was so upset. And it is the rudest thing. It is the rudest thing. And I just saw now, I went to go text her that there was a voice note, and I did not see the voice note back. And no excuse. And Bunnie, I am so sorry. Like, I know how disrespectful that is on so many levels. And obviously it did affect her, for her to bring it up on the podcast. And I'm so sorry. Like, trust me, I had that happen just weeks prior. And it is like, just so disrespectful. It annoyed me so much. I was so polite with my guest. And I was just like, it's fine. But I was just so annoyed deep down. And I get it. And I am so sorry. And if this thing that was happening in Vegas wasn't like really just like all my dreams coming true at once, like I would have made yours. I would have tried to make it work. I am so sorry. But bringing it up on a podcast with Jeffree Star, who just hates me and continues to just hate me. I brought him up so briefly. It was asked on Tana's podcast about Jeffree, and I try to just pass it off as like it happened a long time ago. I don't even remember. And he just went on this tirade, attacking me, calling me a liar. And there's one thing being in drama and responding to drama, and there's another thing to just have lies made up and just this is definition of gaslighting, to say I owe him an apology. Like, I am shaking, because it's bringing it all back up again. And I was going to go look for receipts and just say that I lied about him. And then he also brings in Hair by Jay, saying I lied about Hair by Jay, when there's videos of Hair by Jay just cussing me out, telling me how ugly I am. And then there's videos of other people on that trip talking about all the mean girl behavior that happened. The reason I bought my own flight home. I was grateful with that trip. I was grateful with my friendship with Jeffree. But things happened, and I didn't feel good about it anymore. And so I was out. I didn't say anything about Jeffree for years. I opened up to Shane and Ryland, and that is why my friendship with Shane ended, because Ryland said we had no idea she had these feelings about Jeffree. And they're like, the Hair by Jay, okay, we know, and they picked Jeffree, and that's fine. That's fine. I've made my peace with it. I've truly made my peace with it, and I really don't want this drama, but I'm not going to let me get dragged in and say I lied. And I owe him an apology, and it was hurtful to him. There's plenty of receipts. There's plenty of videos of this online, of apologies, of all this stuff online. And I thought I was just being polite by saying it was a long time ago. I don't even remember because I don't want to drudge this up, because for me, it's humiliating, it's embarrassing. Who I was back then is embarrassing. I thought who we were back then was embarrassing. I thought Jeffree could agree on that. And like seeing all this and then seeing Bunnie bring it up on this episode where Jeffree just despises me, knowing that he's going to go off on me and say I'm a liar and all this stuff like that. Say I wanted it, was looking for clout when I didn't say anything for years. I don't know. It felt a little bit of an attack. It felt a little bit mean girl behavior, because I get it. What I did was so disrespectful to Bunnie. Like I should not have canceled last minute. I shouldn't have even made the plans to begin with. I was just so flustered. This event that was happening is like one of the biggest things that have ever happened in my entire life. I was so focused on that. And I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Fuck. And this was my biggest fear. I had this initial gut feeling and I was like, wow, like this is sucky. And I could have seen her talking about this, maybe leaving my name out of it, but to put it on there on the episode with Jeffree Star and to have all this come back up again is just like, and a lot of people are very sweet in the comments, and a lot of people remember, and that's why I didn't say anything. We filmed an episode on my podcast yesterday, and we didn't say anything about Jeffree because I just didn't want to go with this back and forth. I didn't want to feed into it, and a lot of people do remember, and that's good enough for me. But I see this comment, and I follow Bunnie, which is how I saw the original clip, and my heart broke, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. My heart broke because it just felt like, I get it. I heard her and she has every right to be mad. And I don't know how to make that up. I wish I could pay for her crew or for whatever happened that day, because I swear I know the feeling and I know how shitty that is. And I would be pissed at me too. I just feel like this felt like a very personal attack to do this on the Jeffree Star episode. And I'm so sorry. But the last person I owe an apology to is Jeffree Star. The last person. Because mean girl behavior. And it was a long time ago, and I've seen Jeffree Star throughout the years. Of course, it looked like he has changed out of LA, so I was just like, I get it. I wasn't always a great person either, so I thought, just let it go. But to say I ruined your life, that I owe you an apology, is insane. There's other people on the trip detailing these stories of what happened. There's no lies. And was it anything like horrible? Jeffree, no. You know, Jeffree's just Jeffree. He just has that sense of humor, I suppose, and I took it very personally. Hair by Jay was nasty, and there's videos on it, so to throw him in with him and saying that I lied about you guys, like, what? Jay sent me an apology, Jay, all this stuff, it's just like, and so that's why I was letting it go, because I was like, you know what, Jay apologized, Jeffree never has. Jeffree thinks I owe him an apology, and that's what's insane about all this. I have hurt a lot of people, and I have made tons of apologies publicly and privately to so many people that maybe I've called out wrongly or ended things badly with, but Jeffree, you are the last person I owe apology to. And I just want it to be over. I just want it to be over. Like, Jeffree looks happy and content in his life, and I truly am happy and content in my life. I came back to do a podcast because I love just gossiping and stuff, and I try to keep it as lighthearted as possible. And things that matter, yes, talk about. Things that matter, talk about. But this happened so long ago. And believe me, I was trying to be gracious. I was trying to pass it off as like, let bygones be bygones. If I knew for an inkling it would trigger this, I would have asked to cut it out. I asked to cut a lot of things out of podcasts. I would have 100% asked to cut it out. And Bunnie, I am truly sorry. I am so sorry. Words can't even describe this. I'm so sorry. I don't want this drama with anyone. I don't want it. I let things go. I forget about things. I don't want it. And you guys know I'm all about like protecting my peace and stuff like that, but there is a very big difference between just like protecting your peace and letting someone just completely, this is the second, third, fourth, fifth time I've seen Jeffree talk about this, saying that I'm the liar, that I ruined his life, that I made this stuff up. The receipts are out there.
As I was listening to it, I was like, okay, some of those reasons are valid, I get it. But then Bunnie uploaded her response because she was receiving comments about Trisha saying the stuff about her over on TikTok. Now, Bunnie says like an hour before they were supposed to meet up, Trisha texted her and said that she couldn't do it for whatever reason. Bunnie texted her back and admittedly was annoyed with the whole entire situation. I mean, I would have been really annoyed. I think it's very unprofessional. But she texted her back and Trisha didn't bother to respond to her.
Hi guys. Okay, so here's the deal. when I did this podcast, if you guys listened to the podcast, if you've listened to it already, you know that in the podcast I do nothing but talk good about Trisha. And I'm just matter-of-factly stating what happened between Trisha and I. I'm not talking shit. I'm just telling the truth. You guys that follow me know that I always keep it 100. If you listen to the podcast tonight when it drops, I do not say one bad word about Trisha. I actually say that I think she's evolved so much as a human since having a child and is brilliant for being able to stay relevant for this long and just being who she is. Her missing the podcast actually really did bother me. One, because it's unprofessional. Two, because I had to leave Vegas, go to Utah, and I'm doing this while I'm sick, by the way, go to Utah, do my meet and greet, leave Utah, drive 6 hours back to Vegas, get there, get ready for her to come. I had to organize having a private jet there right after we got done filming, like we had planned from 2 to 5. We had planned that. I had to have a private jet ready to take me from Vegas to Montana so that I could make it to my meet and greet in Montana and to do the Jeffree podcast. Not to mention I had to drag my entire team along with me. I understand that things happen. I understand that people get, don't know how to do time management. I completely understand that because I've overbooked myself before too. Where I do have a problem with it though was where I text Trisha back and I explained to her like, no, I don't have another day. Like my entire past 2 days revolves around you. She did not even have the decency to text me back. You say you respect me, you say you admire me, but at the same time, it's like you don't respect my time. But I'm not ever gonna lie for somebody. Am I supposed to lie for you? So saying that you feel ganged up on, I think might just be your guilt, maybe because you feel bad and you know that you handled the situation with me wrong, and I understand that. But instead of posting a video, you could have just texted me like you just did. I absolutely think you're an icon, Trisha, and I think that you are an amazing woman. I think you've grown so much, and I didn't talk shit about you. Getting frustrated or getting mad because people are talking about you, people talk about me every day. Like, I don't give a if nobody's feeding me or financing me, I do not give a shit what anybody has to say about me. Podcast drops at midnight, guys.
So in my opinion, it's like, are you really sorry and upset that you couldn't do the podcast with me and you had all these reasons actually because you couldn't have the common courtesy to text back and say, again, I'm sorry, like, please let's reschedule this, I'll come to you. Trisha has the means. Trisha's over there selling Birkins and shit from her closet. She can get the money to get a ticket to go meet Bunnie wherever she is and make this right if Trisha actually wanted to. And Bunnie went on in her clip to say that she didn't say anything negative really about Trisha on that podcast. She actually built Trisha up and said that she has seen growth with her. As I said in my video, I think that Trisha has grown. I mean, Trisha is back in the drama right now, but I think that she's grown definitely from the way that Trisha used to be. Let's put it that way. As I said, I honestly feel like Trisha ran off of emotion in this situation because of the drama that she had with Jeffree Star. And so she didn't think to herself, hey, maybe Bunnie wasn't like being mean to me, because all you saw in that clip that was edited to upload to get people's attention to want to watch the podcast was her saying, I was going to do the podcast with Trisha. She stood me up. We didn't actually do it. This is what I had to like rearrange to go and like meet up with her and all of that. It wasn't anything bad in my opinion, like other than the fact that she said it was unprofessional, but it was. So now that you guys have seen all the clips and what all the parties had to say in this situation, one, do you think that Jeffree Star is trying to rewrite history? Do you think that Jeffree Star forgot that he apologized to Trisha Paytas over on Twitter, and also that Hair by Jay made a whole Instagram thing about Trisha, calling her out of her name and all of that? But also, who do you think is in the wrong here? Do you think it's Trisha? Do you think it's Bunnie? I'm Team Bunnie in this situation, you guys. I am. I have to be Team Bunnie in this situation, Trisha. I think it's very unprofessional. I know you gave a whole list of reasons as to why you couldn't do it. I feel like earlier in the day, if you really had all that stuff going on, then you could have like text and let her know like hours before, not an hour before, because you would be annoyed too. If somebody canceled on you last minute to do your podcast or do a video with you, you'd be upset too, Trisha. So you have to understand where Bunnie is coming from in this situation. And next time, Trisha, please listen to the full podcast episode before spouting off, because we cannot have these moments happening over on TikTok, because I'm gonna have to eat crow, girl. I'm gonna have to eat a crow. So with all that said, everyone, that is it for this video. I hope that you did enjoy it. Please leave me what emoji should we do today? Like I feel like I'm running out of emoji. Leave me a microphone emoji. Leave me a microphone for this microphone that I'm not actually using right now. It's just sitting here on this countertop. And I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye.